Did you know Henry Ford used to have his workers work 6 days a week on the assembly lines? And then he realized if he cut those hours and days down to five, that one, his employees were more productive and were able to build more cars and do all the things that they did, but it also gave them additional time for leisure. What we're finding in this online world of constant connectivity, smartphones, access anywhere we want, you can pretty much take your laptop and work anywhere, really anywhere, even in some caves, you might be able to get a signal and be able to work. I always say the great thing is we can work anywhere at any time. And the bad thing is we can work anywhere at any time. And unfortunately, too many people are doing just that. They're working longer hours, uh, never shutting down, not doing anything to benefit themselves, leisure work, all the work that is important to us personally instead of the work that we're doing for our job or our own company. And it's taking a toll on people. The stress of working too many hours, not getting enough exercise, not eating right, this pandemic that we find ourselves in, all of these things have been taking a toll on people, and we look to external things to help fix that. And we hear about people, I can't wait till I go on vacation, I can't wait till I can go do this or do this. Those are all external things that we all want to do because we feel, based on our perception, is that we are in prison right now with being locked up and not being able to travel and not being able to go to certain stores. At the time of this recording, we are seeing some states open up. Texas and Mississippi announced yesterday that we're open for business starting, I believe, March 10th. So that means 100%, nothing's closed, no restrictions. We're open for business. Now, I'm not going to get into a political debate on the merits of that, the good and the bad. I'll let you come to your own conclusion on that to determine what you feel is right in those situations. But at the end of the day, we've been through a pretty horrendous situation for a very prolonged period of time, and it's been very stressful for people. Prolonged stress turns into burnout. Everyone's been undergoing prolonged stress. You can read the writing on the wall. And of course, as you know, I'm not a big fan of burnout, although I talk about it all the time because, quite frankly, it nearly killed me. Burnout is not something you want to mess around with, people. It's something you definitely want to get ahead of and implement things in your life to make sure that you don't burn out. And what are some of those things? Doing things you like doing, getting outside, getting active, eating better, sleeping better. Simple, hard to do. The reason why it's hard to do is because we are creatures of habit. We don't like to do that C word. It's called change. We all deep down know that we need to make changes in our lives, but we fight it. We feel like it's an attack on us. Our amygdala goes, "Oh no, no, that's not good." We're fearful of it. We're like, "What could that be? Oh no, we might get attacked." Well, sometimes we need to tell the amygdala, the amygdala, shut the hell up. It's there to protect us, and but unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't do a great job of it. So, ideally, what you want to do in life to be less stressed, to feel better about life, is to do things in life you enjoy doing. I talk about it in my bucket list exercise, and I'll put a link in the notes below on where to find that video. And you can download a template at breakfastleadership.com/tools. There's all kinds of free stuff there. Go grab them. I don't want anybody burning out. I don't want people getting stressed. But going back to the work thing of 5 days a week, this pandemic has opened up some opportunities for people to work different types of hours in blocks of time instead of the 8-hour punch in, punch out mentality that came along with the assembly line, which is not applicable for office work, never has been, never should have been implemented that way. But it was the mechanism that people went with and they stuck with it. And unfortunately, it doesn't fit, never did, really doesn't fit now. Ideally, if you're an employer, and please listen carefully to what I'm about to say, whether you're an HR or CEO or things like that, Hire people that know how to do the work that you need them to do. Give them clear instruction. Make sure they understand what they are to do, what they're supposed to work on, and when it's due. Give them those tasks with the deadlines or when they're due and get the hell out of their way. Don't micromanage. Don't ask them to be on a Zoom call 8 hours a day to make sure that they're working because you don't trust them. If you don't trust your employees, why the hell did you hire them? Ask yourself that question. Why did you hire them? If you don't trust them, why did you hire them? You don't trust your employees to not screw around. But if you assign them tasks that accompanies deliverables and they don't deliver, then you've got means to address that. Give them the tasks, let them do their job to the best of their ability with all the tools that you give them to make sure they're successful, and they will. You'll find that they may be more productive and the quality of work will improve. Stats show that it happens all the time. The average productivity in a work day is less than 4 hours. So think about this. You're paying somebody this 8 hour block and you're getting a half a day productivity. Does that mean you need to pay them half? No, it doesn't mean that at all. You need to quit associating tasks with hours, associate tasks with the skill and the job that needs to be done. Ignore the hour thing. There may be some people that might need to take 8 hours to work on a task. If they get it done and it's correct, and they get their work done that everything they need to get done, awesome. If they get it done in half the time, awesome. Doesn't mean you pile up and load them up because then you're overworking them. And guess what? Their productivity will go down and the quality of the work will go down. It's a happy medium. It's figure out what your employees are good for and what they can do and give them the tools that they need to do their job well. And again, get the hell out of their way. Don't micromanage. Knock off this constant connectivity bullshit. It's annoying. There's a reason why 7 out of 10 people want to quit their jobs. It's because of jackass bosses and managers that micromanage. Why? Because they don't know how to manage. You didn't train them how to manage. No one does. Congratulations. You're really good at your job. You're a manager now. Completely different skill set. Doesn't work. If you want to be a good leader and be a good manager, you got to learn it yourself because corporations don't teach you how to do that. At least not the good ones, or the bad ones, I should say. The good ones do. They're so few and far between. I hope that changes. But quit micromanaging people. Hire good employees, train them, give them everything they need to do, get out of their way, be available to them if they need your help, and you'll have better employees, happier employees, and you won't have the turnover. You won't have the insurance claims. You won't have the sick days. You won't have all of that stuff that so many organizations have been facing because they're just not a good employer. So do that and you'll be so much happier and be flexible. Talk with your people. Say, okay, now that we're in this world of hybrid work, maybe remote work, maybe in person work, maybe a combination thereof, when you get them in a room, whether it's virtual or in person or both, ask them what makes sense to them. Don't say, okay, we're going to be virtual the whole time, no in office or anything like that, where there's going to be some people that really need to go into an office. They need that structure, they need the social interaction. So figure out what makes sense for your organization and make those changes. And maybe get away from that 8 hour shift. Go, okay, here's your tasks. One of my favorite bosses I ever had, my first day there at work, came up to my cubicle at 3:30 and said, look, I don't care when you get here. I don't care when you leave. If you get your work done, we're good. That was him trusting me to be able to do my job. He never micromanaged me. I gave him updates. We had a weekly team meeting. I would message him on our BlackBerry pager. We had a RIM pager. Kind of date myself there. If you don't know what that is, Google it. You'll be able to see the pictures. You used to get sports scores on it too. Now, you can pretty much get sports scores wherever you want on a smartphone. But anyway, back in my day, that's what we did. But he trusted me. And that was over 2 decades ago that I worked for him. I carry that with me today. And that's how I've led employees. Like, here's what you need to do. Here's your tasks. You're a grown up. Go do your job. If you need me, I'm over there. Otherwise, don't email me after 5 o'clock on a Friday or weeknights, and don't email me on the weekend unless it's an emergency. And then I clearly define what an emergency is, because most things that we bother our employees and managers about aren't emergencies. Something comes to mind, you feel you have to let them know right away. Write it down in a note, save the email in a draft folder, do whatever you need to do. But don't have people work all day and all night. Figure out the happy medium. Get more leisure time in your life as this pandemic is coming to a close, mercifully, hopefully, soonish. We're all going to want to go and do things that we haven't been able to do. And it's going to be an interesting dynamic because so many of us have forgotten how to be leisurely in our life. You can be leisurely in your life. You need to find ways to schedule leisure in your days every day if you can, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. And don't cancel those appointments, people. So enjoy your time. Continue being well. Thank you.